in politics and the whole approach of how, you know, political campaigns are run, given the world that we're in right now and how polarized that it is, do companies have to take a similar approach? I mean, if I'm a AT&T, I operate in blue states, red states. How do you navigate such different tastes, since we have these highly personalized campaigns, and yet it's complicated? I mean, people come to you, I'm sure that's one of the big value propositions you offer.
Well, look, the whole promise of both politics and business was to get the right ad to the right person at the right time. And so that means really understanding who the consumers are in the different parts of the country or different parts of lifestyle and life cycle, whatever's really relevant to your product, and tailoring messages that are not inconsistent with each other, because then you'll be tagged as a liar, but stress those things that are likely to help you. Or, you know, even the kinds of stuff that we do in e-commerce. We should, when you go to an e-commerce site, already know a lot about you and already be able to put those products that you're most likely to buy on the front of the e-commerce site, saving you a lot of time and possibly getting more efficient sales. So I have always believed in targeted marketing. I brought targeted marketing to politics before it was common. I believe that we have moved to, you know, I have this whole thing that originally, you know, the economy was the Ford economy. You could have any color you want as long as it's black, right? And then I said we moved to the Starbucks economy, right? 55 varieties of something that is black, right? Mm-hmm. And now we're in the Uber economy, which is an infinite number of varieties. In Uber, you can pick any point to any point. So Uber has to create a product on the spot to satisfy virtually any need.
Too much choice can induce paralysis, though.
Too much choice can actually produce friction, because people divide up in their choices and they stop making it. But in terms of the economy and what we're trying to do to satisfy you with products, I don't really worry about too much choice really hindering your ability to buy the right clothes or the right jewelry or whatever really suits you. I worry in politics that in fact the choices we've given have divided people up in ways that have made them less unified. That in many ways in politics we need to stress unity, but in business I don't have to stress that.
Well, how do we get back to the middle? Let's go to the politics. I don't know if you ever look out the window and go, what have I done? But from that idea of the polarization and this information loop, I feel like, you know, you would know better than many people. How is there a village green now where people come together, and how do we recreate that?
Well, our politics are more polarized than our people.
Right.
Right, in the sense that
I agree.
Most issues can be resolved. You know, people want to have a working immigration system. They want the border closed. They want a number of people to be able to come in. They want, you know, they want family members to be able to reunite with each other. People want better education in their schools. You know, they want something closer to, you know, some fiscal responsibility in the budget. The truth is you can find 60, 70% agreement on almost any issue. What it really is going to take is a leadership that goes back to that as a goal. When I worked with President Clinton, that was our goal. The president's ratings was in the 70s.
This is Bill Clinton, of course.
Mm-hmm. And before that, if you go back in history, Ronald Reagan had ratings that were in the 70s as well. That they really bridged across the gap, even though they came from very different perspectives, and they both guided the country for close to a decade, right? And I think that a lot of the divisions, right, calmed down because of that kind of leadership. I think lately leadership has been about their party and their way, and that's why we're in a 50-50 country. And until we get someone who really both promises that on the stump and then actually delivers it when they're president, we're not going to have a unified country.
Is there anyone you look to as a possible candidate for that?
It's hard to say. I think we haven't really seen what Democrats, you know, could emerge if there's an open primary, and obviously Ron DeSantis managed to do it in Florida, So he's somebody who's showing that, Governor Newsom in California seems to sail to re-election there. Maybe his electorate is not as divided as it is in Florida. But I think now that maybe America needs to look a little bit more to governors who also have experience administering kind of
not
large
senators,
states.
Not junior congressmen,
Right,
governors.
and that maybe it's time to get somebody who's got some administrative experience, particularly as the problems seem to be, have grown, and that the senators didn't, in a surprising way, we thought Obama would bring the country together, and that was his whole, his whole presentation when he originally got elected, and then by his second term, that's not the project that he really carried out, and Trump obviously, ran his entire his entire 4 years dividing the country up and really only going to the the 50% that was Republican, and that was a huge mistake. Bill Clinton, when I worked with him, realized after the midterms that the only way he could get reelected was to bridge out to the center, and so he reoriented his policies. He reoriented that, and even he was headed in the wrong direction until that wake-up call. The problem is Joe Biden didn't get that wake-up call. I don't think Joe Biden is going to be running for re-election, and so he's not going to change course.
Whether it's through polling or